apologies. Hello and welcome to Perspectives. We got busy having a little conversation on the side. Special shows for Ramadan, the month of earning, doing, and giving. In this month, you earn by giving. By offering prayers, you earn. By giving charity, you earn. By being nice, you earn. By being calm, you earn. While I was driving to the studio, I saw the haphazardness of traffic on Karachi streets, and I was just wondering that if fasting in Ramadan is not giving you a calm within your soul, it's not giving you a calm in your exterior and interior, and if it's not making you introspect, you need to reevaluate. You need to reconsider what you're doing. Just fasting in Ramadan is not about abstaining from food. It's not about abstaining from doing a few things. It's about abstaining from everything which is bad. And what is bad? Breaking laws is bad. Offending others is bad. Hurting others is bad. Harming anything is bad. Just being uncivilized is bad. Being not a good human being is bad. So we should all try to do better. Actually, no, I'm sorry, my apologies. I do not agree with that. We have to be better. We can accidentally make a mistake every now and then and hurt or harm or something, or maybe say or do something which is not, for a perfect Muslim, something good. But generally, at large, by and large, we should be right. So we take this excuse, I'm trying to be good when I'm generally always bad. No, no. You have to be good always, and every now and then you can slip. That is the beauty and honor of a Muslim, and of course in Ramadan that multiplies to many folds, as does the benefits of giving charity. But if I have 100 rupees, where do I put that money? That is the question. One of my favorite charities, it's a bad word, charity projects in Pakistan is Indus Hospital, and I'm honored to have two doctors who are working with Indus Hospital in the studios today. What I'd like to ask them is, why should Indus Hospital be my choice of investment for my charity? Why I call it investment, I've said before, I'll repeat in a moment. On my right, Chief Operating Hospital, young man, Dr. Wasif, Shahzad. Dr. Thank you very much for taking time out. On my left, the General Surgeon for Indus Hospital, Dr. Ghina, Shamsi. Dr. Thank you very much. You're the Chief Operating Officer, so I'd like to start with you. Why should I invest my money, my charity, my prayer in Indus, where there's a line of people hoping to get that?
You know, the reason that you want to give is the reason that we exist. So you want to give to please God. You want to actually make a difference, and you want in the base of it, you really want to gain Sawaab. You want to gain rewards with Allah.
Sure.
That is the reason that Indus exists. The core reason that Indus exists is for the pleasure of Allah. So I mean that's one of the visionary type of reasons that could answer the question. Besides this, we have things that the type of patients that we cover patients who don't have enough money to even, afford the bus fare to Indus. We have accountability set up to ensure that every penny, every rupee that is given to Indus is transparently monitored, it's audited, and for people who want to know, we do give explanations of where our money and how the...
So there is transparency.
Absolute transparency.
Okay, but Shamsi, what's unique about Indus? I would say all this is pretty much common in every hospital.
The thing unique about Indus is that there is no cash counter. That means the patient comes in with integrity. Nobody asks them for money, and nobody hands them down charity. They get the best treatment possible, which the treatment that should be given to them, without asking them, can you afford it or can you not afford it?
Okay.
So the other thing is the locality. We are located in a place where majority of the people are living below the poverty line. And what Indus has made is a big difference in the life of women around there. Because women are second-grade citizens there. The money will never be spent on their health. So Indus has basically given them an area where they can come and become healthy. So Indus has somehow been a reliever for women. At the same time, I would say I always tell everyone who wants to donate at Indus, do come and visit us once. Once you see the system, once you see how things are, the doctors, the medical staff there is that of same caliber in any good hospital across board. You have people with international degrees, you have people with local degrees. These people are also working in their private setups. And they are doing exactly the same operations, exactly the same management. Yet, there's no charge to them.
Humble correction.
Sure.
You said women are second grade. They're not. Unfortunately, they're treated.
Like, that's what I meant. I mean, we're in a locality where there is poverty, there's ignorance, and there is
the
no
shortage of
education.
resource, and women are at the bottom of the list.
The last, their health should. I have seen people who have dumped their women in this gate. And
the wives or the daughters?
It doesn't make a difference. It does not
Just
make
the female.
a difference. Just the female.
So it has nothing to do with relationships. It's a gender thing.
It's a gender thing.
Dumped. Because you're ill.
Because you're ill, you cannot earn, you cannot be a productive member of the family anymore.
You're going to take me to a completely different direction of discussion, which is not the topic today, that women are really taken as a liability, and females are a liability, and male children are an investment, which is it's a very sad discussion, maybe some other time. Wasif, one thing which I've liked about Indus all the years I've looked at Indus is that what gets invested there is taken care of.
Right.
The quality of construction, the equipment is pretty much the same, except for the general wear and tear, as it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Right.
So how are you doing that? And when you said transparency, what kind of transparency is available to people who give you the dollars and cents?
I think on various levels, our decision making is based on patient outcomes. We ensure that our decisions are not the patient status, the patient the background is not factored into our decisions when we make decisions of who to provide care. The type of disease that the patient comes in determines how the doctor will or will not treat that patient. When we talk about transparency, again, if you look at structures, if you look at equipment, our decisions are based on what is best for the patient. So, coming back to what you had alluded to before, why in this? Because our decisions are centered against how patients would benefit in the long run.
Okay, and the quality, the way it's being maintained, please comment on that as well. Your equipment, there's a huge investment.
Yes.
And you guys are now going for a massive expansion plan.
Absolutely, yes.
Serious amount of money, serious money involved there. Please tell us about how you've maintained, if you've maintained, the product that you built so far. Because charity hospitals are generally, alhamdulillah, run better than government hospitals in the sense that the investment is more taken. In government hospitals, things just deteriorate beyond comprehension.
Right.
And private charity hospitals do better. But Indus has done uniquely better. So tell us about that as well, please.
There's a sense of empowerment both that we give to our patients and to our employees. When we are a charity hospital, but when we deliver care, it's not as if we are delivering charity to that patient. It's as if it's the patient's right. That healthcare is a patient's right, and we're not doing any favors.
But I'm talking about the physical investment as well, in terms of the equipment, because you are asking for serious amounts of money.
Yes.
Yeah, but you see, the equipment that is bought in is maintained. We have our own maintenance department.
It's not for you to just charity.
No, why should it be? We're using it. We're using it to...
Technology does its own things. Please go on.
We use it to maintain our equipment, to ensure that the quality of procedures or the quality of medical care that is provided is the same. You will find the same. I can vouch for them. I'm a general surgeon. I do laparoscopic operations there. These are the same operations that are being done across the board in any other hospital in the city.
And it's because of that factor that we make our decisions based on patient outcomes. We choose the best equipment available. And when donors see the amount of effort that we put into choosing of equipment, for example, in terms of how we maintain that, and the whole cycle of, for example, equipment, it gives them the confidence to invest that 100 rupee that you talked about back to Indus. The money that they invest in Indus, so to speak, they can see that money be reutilized in...
It grows.
It grows, absolutely.
But that's why in the beginning I said investment, because if it goes much farther than any short-term charity. It's a very dangerous line I'm crossing here to say online, but there is people say Pakistanis are very philanthropic and very charitable, That's debatable. But yes, whatever money, it's not an endless resource. It has to be invested properly. So there are few projects, a lot of them. SIUT is one, and there are many other projects. We're doing fantastic work with the investment.
Exactly.
So I want you to shed more light on what's your plan. What's your plan now? You guys are looking for some serious money. What faculties do you have right now? What are you looking to expand into?
We have currently we have general medicine. We are very proud of our infectious disease program. We are heading a very big TB program. We have general surgery, urology, anesthesia, orthopedic surgery, and one more thing which I'd like to add here is that not in this is only investing in terms of equipment, but also in human resource.
Okay.
We're also training young doctors who, because we are accredited institution for that. So on the whole, the industry.
You're a training hospital.
Yeah, you're a training hospital.
Sorry, I didn't realize. You're a teaching hospital.
We're a teaching hospital.
Associated to which?
CPSC. We are doing postgraduate training.
Okay, fine.
Residency programs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as far as the faculty is concerned, we are giving them the best surgical care right now, and inshallah, with the medical wing being more in expansion, we'll have the medical setup which will be as strong as the surgical setup as well.
In terms of numbers, we will expand to about 3 million square feet. We are 150 beds right now, and we plan to go to beyond 1,500 beds.
That's about 10 times expansion.
Absolutely, 10 times. We are currently on a 20-acre piece of land. We are using 5% of that piece of land, and this expansion is going to take between 5 to 10 years, depending on how things go in the future, inshallah. We are, investing in the master planning of this whole facility, in the equipment planning of this facility, human resource planning. So the spectrum of planning is not only, like, as Ghina mentioned, on the infrastructure, but also on the softer skills and on the human resource. So people coming in, when they come and see in this and how we deliver care at present and what we plan for the future, and when we go into some detail.
No offense meant to both of you. I'm going to ask a question which there's a reason I'm leading. Typically, charity hospitals have charity doctors, basically leftover doctors. But from what I've seen in Indus, it's the kind of doctors whom I call if I need medical attention. So how is that unique? How are you managing that? Why do you have doctors which would probably be available at any other very private high-end hospital? How come they're working at Indus?
Well, there are two aspects of the job. One is the monetary aspect, and the other is the satisfaction aspect.
Okay.
Indus is, alhamdulillah, has been supporting its staff very well.
Pays well.
But the other aspect, the satisfaction aspect, is not available across the board anywhere else. If I am to go and operate on a patient, I don't have to think about where the money is going to come from. How will I manage the medications? All I have to do is go and give the best medical care. And a lot of people... And it's
a good deal.
It's a good deal.
I mean, helping somebody who can't be helped.
Yes.
I mean, who can be helped, who is not being helped.
The biggest outcome of this is you're the hero in front of them. So you get all the prayers. And at the same time, I always tell all my patients, and I tell all my friends as well, that it's not about saving one person. It's about saving a family. A lot of people who come here are the sole supporter of their families. So if you invest that 100 rupees in saving a bread earner's life, you basically have invested in saving a whole family.
You talk about tuberculosis. You're doing some serious work in tuberculosis.
Yes.
You got using technology, if I remember. I haven't seen that project in a while.
Yes.
But you got like GPS data, and you got
yes, we have a GPS
density maps, and you got all kinds of bullshit. Tell us about that.
Well, the TB program, because we're in a TB-infected area, that has a GPS-activated system which delivers medications. When the medications are delivered, the healthcare worker gives a message on their mobiles, which is then recorded at the database that these amount of medication has been delivered, plus all the households with TB patients are being marked and are on Google Maps for us, available so we can track any new endemic or any new outbreak which is there.
So you're actually monitoring, not just curing, not just providing medication, but you're monitoring and sort of, there's a lot of data collection?
Yes.
It's backed by us being totally paperless in terms of medical records. We have developed our own system where our medical records are all online. We use that to track our patients and keep a history of patients, especially for those patients that have drug-resistant TB, and that's a huge problem that this region, Pakistan included, is coming up over the years.
Unfortunately.
So Indus has taken it head on. It's treating over at present close to 400, 500 patients. And as Ghina mentioned, that they go and ensure that the medication given is, it's actually, they see the medication being given to the patient.
And it's not 500 patients, it's actually 500
families.
Not even families, like 500 spots where a TB patient is actually a carrier for anything, anyone surrounding him, neighbors.
Anybody who's in contact.
Absolutely. Okay. When you say you're expanding largely, what 1,500 beds? Yes. But what else is expected there?
Well, a whole new...
And is there a need for such a large facility?
Absolutely. I mean,
that
when
sounds like a ridiculous question, but still I'm asking you that.
When I joined Indus, I thought, okay, it's a small charity hospital. I probably won't have enough work. But now, I really have to run away from work. So, as terms of expansion, we are planning for a new children care hospital, a cardiac unit, which is very, very well needed. There will be, inshallah, a university, and there will be a training facility for training all the human resources. So we're also talking about a chemotherapy and a radiotherapy unit, basically an oncology ward.
It's a comprehensive hospital. It'll have all services under one roof. A person walking in will find all services at in this hospital. It's also going to be a university hospital that caters to medical, dentistry, nursing, and paramedical training as well.
The education part will not be free, right?
No, it won't be.
No.
Unless for certain students, yes, but by and large it won't be free. And then there'll be a huge research component linked to this whole academic, clinical aspect of the hospital. So these three aspects will be the future of Indus, inshallah.
The university attached to this large hospital, which will continue to be free. What sort of numbers are we looking at in terms of money?
Well, the numbers...
Insane numbers?
No, it's not insane numbers. You know what? We say we will make it possible, Allah willing. And we've made it possible, Allah willing. We've had huge support from all around the world. We have our international partners from University of Texas. We have John Hopkins on board. We have a lot of people helping us out because they see a thing which has worked out in front of them, which has grown in front of them, so they're ready to support it. And we have a lot of people within Pakistan who are supporting us. And inshallah, I'm sure this Ramadan will be able to collect a lot more so we can expand. We're talking about nearly treating 40,000 patients per month.
MashaAllah. You talk about money, that's one. Is there opportunity for young people to come and work with you, to volunteer at your facility?
Absolutely. I mean, we have a huge volunteer program, both in the clinical and the non-clinical, which usually gets, everyone can make a volunteer at a time, absolutely.
But do you have the capacity to take on volunteers?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. A lot of work.
There's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work.
But aren't you guys sort of stretched for space?
Yes, we are.
From what I see?
We are stretched for space, and that's why the expansion is so necessary.
Yeah.
That's why the help is so necessary.
Okay. So what sort of volunteer work can happen? What age groups are you looking at? And what sort of people are coming to you for volunteer work already?
Right now, what majority of medical students, even A-level students, a lot of young people who are on summer breaks, they come and help out. A lot of them help, the medical students help in the clinical parts, the non-medical people help in the data gathering or the data collection, because we are a paperless hospital, so we have a lot of data coming in and going out. So they help us maintain that.
And how many volunteers, if I may ask, are working with you at an average on, how many young people do you interact with on a given year maybe, or a month?
Well, the clinical department takes on nearly 7 to 8 young people every month.
Every month. And generally, overall, about 15, 20?
More than that, much more.
I mean, if you come into Indus these days, we're talking about 25, 30 volunteers, just the non-clinical aspect, covered by 25 to 30 volunteers.
So the reason I'm asking, I'm sort of stuck on that is because it's very easy for somebody to take out a wallet and give you 100 rupees.
Yes.
But it's very difficult for people to get involved. And that's where I feel in our society, we're very charitable. Yes, we give money, but we don't touch it. We don't understand what life is all about. Well, I mean, it's a disease, but this life. And we don't actually, and I'll be very honest, before I came to Indus myself, it was all just hypothetical. Indus, there is a hospital called Indus. But then I went there, it became tangible for me. So that's the reason I was asking. So we'd like to encourage people to come. Any closing comments you'd like to make?
Well, we'll be hoping for an expansion.
Inshallah.
We hope you all contribute to this. You can contact us at 111 111 880. or at www.indushospital.org.
Okay.
I would just invite people to come and see the miracle themselves. Seeing is believing, and once they see, they will be part of Indus themselves. We won't have to pitch Indus. They just need to come and spend an hour with us to see what we are trying to do.
Fully agree with that. Thank you very much, both of you, and good luck. We will take a short break, and we will talk to another beautiful project after that. But before that, I'd like to comment on Indus. Take the time out, like Wasif just said. Take the time out. Go there. It's very easy to send you dollars or rupees. That's great. Do that. Please send the money in. But send your children. Take a little trip. It's just right here near Defense. Just a 15-minute drive from Defense Housing Society or PCHS or anywhere in Karachi. Take a trip. Call them. I'm sure they'll accommodate. Call their public relations department. They'll take you for a walkthrough. Understand what this project is about. And then, when your heart is in it, then open your wallets, then open your time, send your children in. Tell your friends and families across the world. These are the projects we need to invest in. Because God forbid, it happens to all of us. We too need medical attention. And we can't always run to England to get a cure. Let's take a short break. We'll continue our discussion. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Perspectives, special shows for Ramadan. And Ramadan is a month of charity, of giving, of sharing. And I always say, I always use this word investment. Charity is simple. You give what's extra for you, or you give what is due to you. Zakat, fitra, khairat. What's due to you, you give. Sharing is what I have too much of. Let me give some of what I have. I have 2 jackets, let me give you 1. Or even if I have 1, you need it more than I do, I'll give it to you. That's sharing. And investment is what my prime concern is. We live in a society where resources are scarce, especially in the field of medicine, education. That's where, unfortunately, over the years, over the decades, our governments have not been able to keep up with the demand for one reason or the other. So, as citizens of the society, we too need these facilities. We can't all have the deep pocket to buy and to rush to the best of services in the world. And even if we have those deep pockets, medical emergencies happen, well, they're emergencies because they're emergencies. And they happen in the middle of the night when you can't really catch a plane and get out. And if you can't, you will end up in the nearest hospital to where you live. And if that hospital is not up to scratch to deal with your ailment, you're in trouble. So I always say invest in the services that you might end up using willingly or unwillingly. Education we can get away with maybe, but medical services we can't. It happens in an emergency and you will end up in that really subpar neighborhood clinic which you have been ignoring for 30 years. I'm not much of a blood giver. Unfortunately, I'm not proud. I'm very ashamed of it. I should give blood more regularly, but I'm just scared. Once I ended up at Fatmi Foundation, where I needed blood for, I think, my mother, and they said, well, you have to give blood to get blood. So I ended up giving blood, and my fear went away. And I also had a fantastic experience of doctors, of medical staff who were there to take care of me, who helped me through. The facilities were clean, reasonably organized, and pretty much better than what I expected. So Fatmi Foundation since then is another project which I think deserves attention and your help and support. I will introduce my guest on my right, Dr. Ziaur Rehman, who is the Medical Director of Fatmi Foundation. Dr. Thank you very much for taking time. At my left, Mr. Rumi Dossal, who is the Chief Operating Officer and the Secretary of the Trust for Fatmi Foundation. So thank you very much for being here. Rumi Sahab, I'd like to start with you. I would like to introduce what Fatmi is doing, and this is the first time I'm doing a show about Fatmi, so I would like my information to be better as well. So please tell us what all you're doing and what's your future plan.
Fatmi Foundation basically is a blood bank and thalassemia and hemophilia management and even other related genetic blood disorders. So basically we are specializing in thalassemia management, in hemophilia management, and good, safe, clean blood banking. But the difference lies between there are other hospitals also that do these things in the commercial world as well as in the non-profit sector. But we can proudly say that we are servicing the underprivileged class of children sick patients. So it's all free of charge. So that's one aspect that we can be very proud about it. And when we talk of the nation as a whole, we hold about 42% of the market share. So in other words, in this respective field of thalassemia management, hemophilia management, and genetic blood disorders, we hold 42% of the registered patients in Pakistan. So when we look at the registered patients, we're talking of the ones that have been registered with the Federation of Pakistan, of the thalassemia or hemophilia. Those that are not registered, we don't know. There could be 100,000, there could be 80,000, there could be 60,000. But what we have of the registered patients, we hold about 42% of the entire Pakistan population of thalassemia and hemophilia.
And that's all free?
And that's all free of charge, yes.
Okay.
All those registered underprivileged class patients, which are almost like 98% of our strength.
Sure.
So they're all free of charge.
And your blood bank, that's also free of charge, or that's blood against blood?
No, blood banking comes different now. Blood banking is where our laboratory comes into effect, where we do the screening, where we do the cross-matching, and where we do the processing of the blood and blood products.
Right.
So the screening part is for these very patients who come in, because we go and collect blood on a day-to-day basis. We almost have about 4 camps a day. That's the roadside ones, and then we have the corporate and the institutional ones.
You have camps on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, 4 camps.
Just random places?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then we have even corporate camps and institutionals, and that is all arranged. Now, having those blood coming in, they are screened, cross-matched, and processed, and they're used for these very patients. So the blood banking comes more for them than the outside general public.
But it's available for general
public.
But
it's available, yes, absolutely it's available. But where we come in good in this is that the technology that we use, which is the microenzyme immunization assay, that technology is not available with all the blood banks in Pakistan.
Okay.
And more so because we are a not-for-profit institution. To have that technology, which is very expensive, if I'm not right, Dr. Saab, I think it's a very expensive process.
Yes, sure.
And we have the state-of-the-art.
The CMEIA system, or that is a chemoillumination system, and it is quite costly. It costs more than $5 per 3 tests of HIV, HBsAg, and hepatitis C. So it is quite costly, and this is a class 1 system that we have got, that is Abbott's Architect, and that gives marvelous result. But of course,
so that is up to the global standard yet, or we still behind?
Yeah. It is called global standard.
So we are up to mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
What sort of you talk about thalassemia and hemophilia, and you talk about young people, underprivileged people. What's tricky about these two diseases, and what's tricky about what you're doing, and what's so special about Fatmeet services that beyond technology, why is Fatmeet such a strong name and such an established name in this field?
Actually, thalassemia and hemophilia both are genetic blood disorders. Fatmeet Foundation started registering these patients and started treatment free of cost in 1984, when no one was in the whole country, you can say, no one else was doing this thing. So this was a unique thing. And to give all the facility, provide all the facilities of treatment, blood or medicines or expert advice, all under one roof and free of cost.
That's what made you unique.
That was the main thing.
And I can further add as well to this is that then and now as well, we're spread all over the country. We're nationwide.
Where are your centers?
We have Karachi, we have Hyderabad, we have Tando Alayar, which is in Rashidabad, then we have Khairpur, Quetta, Multan, Lahore, and Peshawar. Okay. So we are covered in all the provinces. So when we look at it from that point of view, which Dr. Zia Rehman has just mentioned, it's not just the availability factor as well, but we are available nationwide. So all these underprivileged sick children patients who come over, they can be attended to in the respective provinces with our field of specialization. And being expensive and being as a not-for-profit institution, they're very lucky to get this all. Because if you had to go to a commercial organization,
very expensive.
It would be a very expensive treatment. And for every child, it cost us approximately around 10,000 to 15,000 rupees a month per child.
You, I think maybe accidentally you said earlier that you have 42% of the market share, and I've been holding on to that line, market share. You said it very well, because I see that as a market share of opportunity. It's not a business.
No, it's not a business.
But when you say market share, people assume it's so. I'm just trying to the lighter side of that.
The population.
That line. No, I'm trying the lighter side of the word market share. For me, it is a market share, because if I have to invest my charity, my sharing, my zakat, I need to invest where it's going to be used the best, because I just have so many rupees. There is so many working that is. I'd like you to tell us all about why Fatmeet Foundation takes my rupee much farther than if I give it somewhere else. I'm not saying other projects should not get it. Everyone should get money. But of course, we're talking about your project right now. So how does Fatmeet use my rupees and dollars better than another one?
Certainly. I'd also like to add here is that there are many organizations who are doing a wonderful job in the not-for-profit institution. To give you a very good example, if somebody would like to visit our center, is in Rashidabad. Now, in Rashidabad complex, there are about 10 or 12 not-for-profit institutions. We are just one of them, but all of them that are inside are very well taken care of and are good institutions. LRBT is one of them.
Absolutely.
We are one of them. TCF is one of them. The Sargodha Spirit Boarding School is there. Darul Sukoon is there. Deaf Reach School is there. And Ida Ru is there. So when we look at it, and you have to see a good model and a good example of good not-for-profit institutions operating out of one roof with so many different areas like education,
sure,
orphanage, deaf and dumb school, eye hospital, and of course us. But why us is in this particular field. If somebody wanted to donate in the health sector, because there are other areas as well, but somebody would like to donate it to an eye hospital, somebody would like to donate it to a cardiac.
When there's thalassemia and
but if it's thalassemia and hemophilia or any genetic blood disorder, then that pound or dollar that you pay to invest or to give to us for the treatment of our children, we have a very good system now operating, because we are now certified by ISO standards for 9001-2008 for quality management system. We are approved charity with the Eye Care Foundation.
Okay.
We are an approved charity with the Charity Commission England and Wales. This is 291878, which is our registration number. We are now hopefully getting ourselves registered with PCP. It's just in the final stages. It's just a question of their approval.
PCP?
The Pakistan Center for Philanthropy.
Okay.
And that's the tax exemption for Pakistan.
Fine.
The Eye Care, we are also linked as partners in progress in the US, where all our funds go through the Eye Care Foundation and then onwards to us. So by this process, and of course we are audited by A.F. Ferguson's & Co., the chartered accountants, a very strong firm and the largest in Pakistan.
Sure.
So when somebody gives you the money, what we want to tell them is that there is transparency, there is governance, there is good management practices, because we are subject to check and balance controls by these various bodies, because PCP, Eye Care Foundation, ISO, they're doing regular checks on us.
And stringent.
And stringent. So we can't get away with it. So we have defined policies in our organization, and every one of them are approved by the board that we have to report to.
When you say transparency, what sort of transparency is available? Are your numbers available publicly?
Yes. We have a website.
Okay.
We have a website. We can ask the donor to visit the website. Our annual report is there. Our major donors, not the smaller ones, but because we can't get all into the website, becomes a tedious thing for the donor. We don't want them to have coffee breaks. But the major donors list is listed
The
on
major
the
supporters
website.
are listed.
Yes, by name, the organization or the individual. We actually mention it on them. Plus, we invite the donor to come over to our office and check our records, which is absolutely open to you.
You talk about thalassemia and hemophilia management, which is really just taking care of the patients. So what are we doing in terms of prevention of these two diseases? Because there's massive, these are congenital diseases.
Every year, 5,000 thalassemia major children are born every year in Pakistan. And in our population, general population, 5 to 7% people are carrying genes of this thalassemia minor.
Of the population?
Yeah, of the whole population. So, Fatimid, actually, of course, in every way, it is unique, because it's not only treating thalassemia and hemophilia patients and providing all the medical facilities, but also has a lot of work in the prevention side. And with the help of CDP, Government of Sindh, we are now screening our patients' relatives, close relatives, free of cost. And according to the report of the screening, we advise them medically who should marry who. I mean to say, if after the screening we found that someone is carrying genes of thalassemia minor, I advise them not to marry another thalassemia minor. Or if it is a normal person, then I advise them, okay, you can go ahead and you can marry anybody you like to. So in this way, we are screening our patients' relatives and advising them, and no marriage is going ahead between two minors. We are advising them, counseling them, and we are trying our best that all the family members, and you know, in general population, it's only 5 to 7% population that is carrying the genes, but in these close relatives, when we screened them, we found that more than 38% people are carrying genes of this disease. Now, if these children children's close relatives, they marry each other. They are of course relatives, and they marry in their family. So there are much more chances.
Is this number increasing?
It's not increasing because it remains nearly 5 to 7%. But the number of thalassemia major will be increased if you are not preventing marriage between two minors. And of course, this is a very easy process. Just a question of say 600 to 800 rupees, and you can screen anybody before marriage, advise them, and if two thalassemia minor people are not married together, well, there will be no new birth of a thalassemia major.
It's not a matter of 600 rupees, unfortunately, it's a matter of our mindsets. We have just a couple of minutes. I'd like you to comment on what sort of thalassemia and other congenital blood disease awareness and education Fatma is taking on, and also what sort of numbers are you looking at in terms of...
Well, recently, as Dr. Zia Rehman mentioned about thalassemia awareness, is that this is an ongoing process with the government of Sindh. And as a matter of fact, a bill has been just recently passed on the 8th of May, which happened to be the International Thalassemia Day, that you would actually have to now undertake a blood test. This is the provincial government of Sindh. And you have to undertake this test, and it has to be qualified and written in the column of the Nikahnaama, where you have to state that you've undertaken this blood test. Now, it's a question of implementation. So, Fatih was one of the pioneers to take up this case from 2004 onwards.
Well,
and after 9 years, it has now come into effect. So this is one aspect which has been the good works of our clinical management team.
Fantastic.
And the Thalassemia Awareness Program is an ongoing program with the community development. We're going into the interior of Sindh. We're doing all these tests.
You are
more than 7,000. Yeah, we're on it all the time.
I wanted to mention one thing, that if you make people aware, it will not make any impact if you don't provide facility for the test.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
So this becomes useless.
Absolutely.
So government should come into play. The government should provide laboratories, good laboratories in the rural areas also, where our 80% population are living.
And where probably carelessness is
really
much higher. So what sort of numbers are you looking at? How much money are you generating right now, and how much money are you looking for?
Oh, well, I mean, our proposal for 2013 has been $800,000 plus. Though our budget is about $250 million every year, but we're looking for expansion in equipments, refurbishing of our equipments, getting new technology. We're trying to refurbish Peshawar Center, which
this is over and above your regular costs.
Yeah,
this is additionally
$250 million is our annual budget. And then we are trying to refurbish our Hyderabad Center, which is doing a fantastic job at this moment. And so is Peshawar. But we're crammed up in a very small area, which of course has been given to us by the government. It's a BHU premises on a lease. And now we want to set up on the same premises because we've got almost about another 3,000 patients in Peshawar as compared to even 3,000 a year. We got almost 12,000 patients. So to cater to that, we need this long-term plans of ours as part of our communication strategy and our resource mobilization strategy to raise that sort of sum.
Okay. Dossal, thank you very much for taking the time out. And I wish you good luck and congratulations for the good work you're doing. Congenital blood diseases, which Fatma is fighting, managing, can be reduced if we're just slightly more careful. Yes, there are those who are not aware, but I also know people who are aware, who think it's below them to get a blood test. It's not. You are really trying to protect those beautiful children we give up our lives for, but we are just so careless when we're having them. Be a bit more careful. And it is unfortunate that congenital blood diseases are at an epidemic level in Pakistan. 5,000 new cases a year is epidemic for a congenital blood disease compared to international numbers. We should be a bit more careful, just a bit more aware. And we will only be serving our own future generations. Anyways, thank you very much for taking time out, sir. Please, absolutely.
They need blood, they need shelter, they need tender, loving care.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
You're more than welcome. Thank you
And
so
of course, I would like to add,
Please, sir.
please ask general population to make a habit of blood donation. So many people need it, and Fatimids need money also to improve treatment standard of our patients.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, both of you. Until next time. Good night.